I kind of want to sing another REM. No, I want to sing Ahead by a Century. That's by the Tragically Hip. Ah, here it is. Good, good, good. All right, here we go. First thing we'd climb a tree, and maybe then we'd talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts. Illusions of someday, cast in a golden light. No dress rehearsal, this is our life. And that's where the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoke them out. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. There in the morning shroud, and then the day began. I tilted your cloud, you tilted my hand. Rain falls in real time, and rain fell through the night. No dress rehearsal, this is our life. That's when the hornet stung me, and I had a serious dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoke them out. You are ahead by a century. 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 And disappointing you is getting me down. Hydrate or drive, absolutely. That is good. Dihydrogen oxide. That is very, very good. Dihydrogen oxide.
Mic check. Mic check.
Still I
All right. Morning. This is Double Tribble. I'm Ron. I live in New Hampshire. I stream mostly science stuff and news. This morning I'm going to do news and whatever else happens. Yes, I was up all night. I was up all night. I fell asleep maybe an hour. I drifted off a little bit, but I stayed up, and it makes sense when it's so hot like this. It makes sense to do your work at night, actually, because it cools down enough that you can do your work. But I spent the time copying things and downloading and copying and backing up and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little bit tired, but I did. I freshened up a little bit. Put the shower, cold water in the shower can do wonders. So this morning I guess we'll do news. You can look at the schedule. My schedule is almost getting there now. I've just been putting stuff into a schedule just to have it there. But now I think I'm kind of getting it. Saturday's going to be a movie night, I think, and Wednesday will be this upcoming Wednesday. Wednesdays maybe Wednesdays we'll do review movies. We'll do movie reviews instead of just watching it. We'll just take the time to actually review a movie, explain it or whatever. Because sci-fi sometimes can be difficult to understand. They got a lot of weird concepts in them and stuff, and sometimes they're difficult to follow. So maybe I can do explainers on Wednesdays. And Monday, I think is Monday morning news, I guess, right? So we'll try that, and maybe what I'll do is just whenever there's something going on, maybe I'll just do a stream on news or something, Because a lot of times, you go and look at the news, especially in the middle of the summer, maybe there's not a lot going on, so it doesn't make sense to have a regular schedule on that, I think. And I don't like, one of my criticisms of the mainstream media, mainstream news, among many criticisms, is that, they fill things, put fluff into their news, they just fill it up. And they talk about, some animal story somewhere or something, which, animal's nice, but I don't watch the news to watch, a dog show or something, you know what I mean? Or who's, you get what I'm saying. They fill up the news with a bunch of stuff that doesn't help democracy. Let's put it that way. It doesn't help inform the citizenry of what's going on. And so maybe I can do that. Unfortunately, my sources are basically AP and Reuters and some of the newspapers and stuff. So, but you can find things that way too. And another way to find out stuff is they say, we don't want to don't learn about stuff online, on Facebook or whatever, on social media. But actually, it's a good way. It's a good way to get uncensored stuff. The information that you get may not be accurate, but it can make you aware of a news story that would otherwise be censored by mainstream media. So if you're on social media and you see something, a news story that you hadn't heard of before, then you make note of it, or right on the spot, you go and track it down, find out what this actual story is, Google search it, do whatever you have to do to find out what the actual facts are of the story. And that way you can get, a broader view of what's going on. And because we're able to, we're online, we're able to verify facts to a reasonable degree. We're actually more informed that way, rather than just sitting in front of watching your local news, doing stories on dog shows, right? So, all right. So let me see if I can get this. I've got a. Oh yeah, here. Okay, I think this is going to work. I've got to adjust my my OBS here to get it to go up. Let's see if this works. Did that work? Yeah, that worked. Cool. Okay. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see what AP says is going on. Bangladesh, I think, is the big story. A hurricane. Okay, that's a weather report. But sometimes it can cause problems. Bangladesh is having some issues. I'm unfamiliar with what's going on in Bangladesh, really. So maybe we can look at that. Let me look up there. The stories here on AP are probably copyrighted, so maybe I need to go to Wikipedia to find out what's going on there. So let me do that. Oh wait, let's go to English Wikipedia because I speak English, and this is an English stream. Okay, so maybe if I just type in Bangladesh. Oh, here it is. Is that right? No, that's the UK. Oh God, there's something going on in the UK too. Look at that. Okay, so I'll type in. Let's see. How do you spell Bangladesh? I have just dyslexia, in case you guys don't know. So I need to. Okay, I think I can get it. Oh, there, they put it right up there. Okay, so it's what the story is about is Bangladesh's prime minister resigned and fled the country. Oh my goodness, look at that! After weeks of protest against the quota system for government. Okay, so that should be in the Wikipedia article here. Probably at the end of this, at the intro, right? They got the intro. They say what's going on. A lot of times they put it in chronological order. Hopefully they did that here. Now let's see. No, they didn't say what was going on here. So we'll go to history, to present, and see if somebody has stuck something in there. Following nationwide protests. Okay, so we'll click on that. And now we can find out what's going on. Now you notice they got a bunch of warnings here, right? There's, at least they got. Okay, let's see. This article is about a student movement focused on quota reform. For the ongoing movement, see non-cooperation movement. Okay, well that's kind of confusing, isn't it? All right, so this is just about the non-cooperation movement. Okay, I guess we can look that up and see what that's about. Bangladesh quota reform movement was an anti-government an anti-government and pro-democracy protest in Bangladesh. Well, I guess they got the prime minister moved, right? So I don't know if you can say was at this point. Spearheaded primarily by the students of public and private universities. Initially focused on restructuring discriminatory, traditional and quota-based systems for government job recruitment, the movement expanded against what many perceive as an authoritarian government when hundreds of protesters and civilians, most of whom were students, were killed. Well, that's bad. They got a note here, so we'll look at that. Okay, that's just they're just put in. They have 5 sources here, so Wikipedia will sometimes do that. They're really good editors that know what they're doing. Will do that. If you sometimes you'll see an article on Wikipedia where they state a claim that maybe people don't like, and so they'll challenge it and say, "Oh, your sources are no good." And so what they end up doing is they spam a bunch of sources on there, half a dozen sources, and you end up with, all these little things right in the middle of the article, bum, 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 real big. And so when they do that, they put it into a note here so that they're individual things. So their sources are The Wire. Let's see, who else? New York Times. Okay. So The Diplomat. The Hindu. I don't know about that one. That must be an Indian publication. The Diplomat again. So I guess that actually happened. Students were killed. So that's sad. The majority of the fatalities were caused by gunshots fired by the police and other government forces. Yeah, that sounds like an authoritarian government if they're killing their own citizens. Using lethal and deadly weapons against unarmed protesters and non-protesting citizens, including children and pedestrians. Oh, I checked my mic earlier. Let me check it again since I did that other thing. Okay, it seems to be working. Let me check the sync. I guess it doesn't matter, right? If I see. 1, 2. That's pretty close. Okay, I think we're in sync. Okay, sorry for the interruption there. I just thought about that. I didn't want to go on talking with the mic muted. I've done that a few times already. I learned from my mistakes eventually. Okay, so they responded to a Supreme Court thing. Yeah. So I guess Bangladesh has a corrupt Supreme Court too. Is that what they're saying? The protest began in June 24, so a couple months ago, in response to the Supreme Court of Bangladesh reinstating a 30% quota for descendants of freedom fighters. Okay, what is that now? Okay, Bangladesh forces. If you hover over something, a link on Wikipedia, it'll put up the first few parts of the summary of the article or whatever. So it was a guerrilla resistance movement consisting of the Bangladesh military, paramilitary, and civilians during the Bangladesh Liberation War in '71. Okay. So it looks like what happened was apparently they won. And the new government, wanted to reward them for fighting and said that they got 30% slot in all the government positions. And maybe that was also just to, shore up the power of the government to make sure they had loyalists in their government, maybe. I don't know. Seems like a technique that you could use to do that. So the Supreme Court's reinstated the quota, and it says reversing the government decision made in response to 2018 Bangladesh quota reform movement. Okay. The government decision. Okay, it gets kind of convoluted here, it looks like, doesn't it? So it looks like what they got is they have the revolution that happened 50 years ago was still trying to hang on to power or something, and by having this quota system. Protest, which initially began as a response to the reestablishment quota system for government, quickly spread throughout the entire country because of the government's violent response. People don't like it when the government kills their own citizens. I didn't like it. I don't like it that the U.S. killed 1 million of their own citizens. I don't like that at all. So I don't support the regime we have in the U.S. right now at all. But that's another story. Quickly spread throughout the entire country because of the government's violent response, as well as growing public dissatisfaction against an oppressive government. Yeah. Okay, so out with the old guard, in with the new guard. That's out with, what are the lyrics of the song? Out with the old boss, in with the new boss. Hope we don't get fooled again. You guys familiar with that song? It happens over and over again. And, a new generation of people grow up who are not educated on history, don't understand, and get fooled again. Basically, that's what happens. So now, right, see what's going to happen is these students did this movement, and some older people will take over from the students and say, yeah, we'll implement all these things you want to do, and then they won't, and they'll take power for themselves, and it'll just happen over and over and over again. That's just how it works, I guess. I don't know. Humans are kind of screwed up sometimes. So okay, so that's what's going on there. It's sad that they had killed all those with students, so that's really bad. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll get, closer to democracy that way. Yeah, it doesn't, having a system where, and it's the descendants of the fighters, not just the fighters, because it was 50 years ago, right? Those are people who are all retired probably by now. And so it's the descendants of those people. That's not, that's not how democracy works. You don't have, systems by inheritance. That's kind of what it is, right? Inheritance. Not the king, but positions in government by inheritance. That's not democracy. Okay, so who's this? Sheikh Hasina came back from tragedy to lead Bangladesh until protests forced her to flee. Okay, so she's the one who skedaddled out of the country when they. So it's a big, long, detailed story about what she did. I don't think I want to get into that now. I think we know what's going on there enough. Let's see. This international stuff is really challenging. If you just trying to understand what's going on internationally, and I really, diplomats and all the people who run the State Departments and stuff like that. I feel for them because it's really hard to understand this stuff. Because if you think about trying to understand what's going on in our country, what the politicians, what their positions are, what the trends are, where things are going, what's happening, all that stuff, and then multiply that by 200 because there are 200 countries in the world, and trying to understand all that. It's really a challenge, So you either, what they do is they have specialists, right, in different countries and ambassadors and all that kind of stuff to try to sort it out. But it's as like a citizen, as just an ordinary civilian trying to understand what's going on in the world, you can occasionally dive deep into a particular country and a particular situation or whatever, and try to understand it, or you can just like we just did on that one, just get a surface view of what's going on, just to be aware of it, or both. You should do both. Occasionally, you should dive in to see what's going on, really. And I just been really busy. I've just been, and disgusted and everything else. So I haven't been really following stuff that closely. I don't know what the latest are and all this. Israel-Hamas war latest. Here it is. Oh, they're going to give me the latest. Hezbollah says it launched a drone attack on northern Israel. Yeah, they're basically at war. Iran and Lebanon and Israel and Palestine and Yemen and the U.S. Who else? It's a war. There's a regional war in the Middle East now. Low intensity war, quickly becoming full on war. So, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist usually, but we got an election coming up, and that can affect things here. So. Wall Street headed sharply lower again. Yeah, Japan took a nosedive over the weekend there. Let me read that. I'm going to see what's going on there. So, Wall Street, we know. So this is going to be a worldwide dip here, or maybe a recession possibly. Let's see. A currency trader works. Okay, that's. Wait a second, what do we got here? Where's the story? Okay. All right. Check my mic again. I seem to have some noise in there for some reason. There's no way I'm going to be able to diagnose that right now, so I'll just apologize for that noise floor we got there, that high noise floor we got. on the mic. Okay, U.S. stocks are set to open sharply lower Monday, adding to steep declines in Asia and Europe, deepening a sell-off tied to worries about a recession in the U.S. economy. What? Really? So they're saying the U.S. is heading into a recession, and that's why Japan went down? What evidence do they have on that? Well, the Fed left the rate unchanged instead of moving towards lower interest rates, which would help the economy keep going because inflation is still high. So they're trying to manage that. You know, when the way they fight inflation, one way is to raise interest rates, because when interest rates are higher, and the Fed doesn't actually set the interest rate. What they do is they set the supply of money available to the banks to lend out. And so if there's less, and they do that by purchasing or selling assets that they hold. So when they set when they make the interest rates go higher, what that does is it makes it harder for businesses to borrow money from banks. And the banks are more selective about who they lend to, and they charge more interest and all that kind of stuff. So when that happens, then businesses have less money to invest into their businesses. And when they have less money to invest in their businesses, then they can't grow their business as much. They can't do as much stuff. They can't sell things. They can't make as many things to sell. All that. So raising or having the interest rate go up like that causes the overall macro economic environment to be more depressed. There's less. It's in theory, right? It's supposed to reduce economic activity in the U.S. And when that happens, in theory, that should lower inflation, because one of the reasons for inflation is having too much money, right? If the economy is doing really good, businesses are selling a lot of stuff, they're hiring employees, more people have money, and there are more people with more money, right, in the economy, then there are more dollars chasing goods. And there's actually, you know how markets work with supply and demand. Well, there's a supply and demand on the general economy in terms of dollars. If there's a higher supply of dollars, then there will be, let's see how that works. If there's more money chasing goods, then the price of those goods will go up, because there'll be more people competing for those things. You know, people will be less discriminating when they go into the store and they're going to buy something. If they don't have a lot of money and something is priced a little high, then they'll pass. They won't buy it. They'll say, "Oh, that's too much. I can't afford it." Blah 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 blah. And so the shopkeeper, in order to sell the thing, has to lower the price because people don't have enough money to buy it. But if people have a lot of money, then they go into the shop. And maybe they don't look at the price so closely or whatever. They see it and they say, "Oh, it's kind of expensive, but I got the money, I'll buy it." Boom. And then the shopkeeper knows that he can keep the prices higher. So that's one of the reasons why inflation happens. This latest thing was increase that we had. Inflation was related to the pandemic. It's a little more complicated, but anyway, that was a little digression there. So they're saying that this is related to so Japan maybe is reacting to what they perceive may be a slowdown in the U.S. economy as the Fed continues to try to fight inflation. That's what I'm reading, what they're saying there. S&P 500 futures are down 3.1%. NASDAQ futures are sinking 4.7%. Investors are fleeing the big tech names that until recently had powered the U.S. market higher. Okay. So Apple fell more than 7%. Meta, that's Facebook, was down 6% in pre-market trading. Okay, so we're going to have... Oh, the market just opened up right now, so we could look and see, but I don't care. So they're... NVIDIA, 12.5% on pre-market trading. Wow. So we'll see what happens today. We'll see if that lasts through the day or if it recovers. And this is another thing. This is kind of one of the driving things that can drive a recession. Is now a lot of people are in the stock market. It's it used to be that only just a small percentage of the population held stock in companies and stuff like that. But now it's online. It's easy to trade. People have stock options in their companies. They've got 401ks. A lot. There's more people are invested in markets and stuff like that. So when the stock market goes down like that, people see that their amount of money that they have goes down, and so that can kind of feed on itself, and cause a recession to come about. Be interesting if this really dips down and we get, it really gets bloody here. It'd be interesting to see if the Fed steps in early and lowers the interest rate to try to signal the markets that they're gonna respond to that. That would be interesting, because sometimes they do that. If something really drastic happens, they'll step in and before their next meeting, they'll lower rates. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Futures for the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 2%. Report Friday showing hiring by U.S. employers slowed. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got a bad employment report. Let's see if I have that here. What that is. Is this the same? Yeah. Okay. U.S. hiring show in July. Right. So each month they do a survey of employers to find out how much hiring they've been doing, and they do it the first. What is it? The last Friday? I forget now. I think it's the first Friday of the month. Let's see. What was today's the 5th, and it's Monday. So yeah, Friday. It's the first Friday of the month is when they release these jobs reports. And so they're saying, let's see, employers added just 114,000 jobs. Well, they added jobs, right? 35% fewer than expected. This is nothing. This is not that big of a deal. I don't know why there's something else going on there. I don't know what's going on. That's not that big of a deal. We don't want ads. Go away, ads. All right. Report Friday, okay, by much more than expected, 35%. It's not, and also the expectations that they gain that, when the report's going to come out, different people with different interests will, if they want it to look better or the jobs report to look better or worse, they'll fluff up or reduce their expectations accordingly. So you can't just go by expectations, I don't know. It's kind of weird the way this whole investors and all that stuff work. They really gaslight each other all the time with this stuff. All right, the shakeup began just a couple of days after U.S. stock indices had jumped to their best day in months after Federal Reserve Chair Powell set the stage for possible rate cuts to begin in September. Okay. But after Friday's job report, we are raising the Fed may have kept its main interest rate at a 2-decade high for too long. See, that's what I was just talking about. Raising the risk of a recession. Yeah, okay. So, all right. So they're spinning it as if the U.S.'s economy might be going down, and then Japan responded to that. But They're talking about, okay, Monday's plunge in the Nikkei index followed a nearly 6% drop on Friday. Okay, so it had, okay, so it dropped on Friday and Monday. Okay. Right, over the weekend, that makes sense. In mid-July, the index had risen to all-time highs. Its worst single-day rout was a plunge of blah, blah, blah points, blah, blah, blah percent, global market crash, blah, blah, okay, Black Friday, so they're, all right. The yen has fallen. Okay, South Korea stocks sank 9%. So it's a global phenomenon here, but I don't know if you can say that it's because of what the U.S. is doing necessarily. There might be something else going on. I don't know. Okay, so there's something. So we learned something new there. I'll leave that open just in case we got to look at Wikipedia again. Focus on economy and answer the Harris freedom message. What GOP? Okay, that's just BS politics stuff. Harris once wanted to ban fracking. Okay, so she's gonna. I don't know. Politics. Okay. UK Prime Minister convenes emergency meeting to end days of far-right violence across Britain. Oh, this is the one. Yeah. See, I don't watch mainstream media, so I don't get this stuff real time. So let's see what's going on here. And also, I don't. If you watch mainstream media, you'll get this much news, and then you'll get hours and hours and hours of talking heads BSing about what they think about it. So now you get to listen to me BSing about what I think about it. I'm trying to give you context. I'm not giving you BS. I'm giving you context. Yeah. Let's see. UK Prime Minister. Okay, so I just read that. Chief of the Defense Staff, Admiral Sir Tony Radakin Center arrives. That's a. God damn it. This type they use is exactly the same as the. There's no differentiation between the caption on that and that. It looks like it's the beginning of the article. Okay, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's a new one. Held an urgent meeting. Okay, let's see what's actually going on here. Lawlessness has swept the country over the past 6 days as right-wing activists use social media to spread misinformation, to whip up anger over a stabbing rampage at a dance class that left 3 girls dead and many more wounded. False rumors spread online that the suspect was a Muslim and an immigrant, leading to attacks on immigrants and Muslims. On Sunday, angry mobs attacked 2 hotels used to house asylum seekers, breaking windows, lighting fires before police dispersed the crowds and residents were evacuated. During Monday's meeting of the government's emergency response committee known as COBRA, police chiefs and government ministers were expected to develop a response to ensure there is no repeat of the violence. Okay. I think I heard something about this, and I just was, too busy with my own stuff to pay attention. So, okay, so this is, this kind of stuff that you're seeing here. This is going to happen. This conflict gets, there are going to be more and more and more migrants now throughout the world because of climate change. It's going to make more places unlivable, so people have to change, or it's going to, it's just going to cause disruption, and there's going to be a lot of people moving around. There'll be wars, and people will be displaced because of the wars. There's going to be a lot of that happening. So somehow we got to get people, educated or conditioned to be more tolerant to having more migrants, because we're going to have them. We're going to have more migrants everywhere. And this, if this just keeps happening, which I don't know if our civilization will be able to continue if we keep doing this. It's just people have to be more tolerant. Okay, voices across the globe express concern over the increased arrests in Venezuela after disputed election. Okay, let's see what's going on there. I don't need to read the whole article here. I just need to. Critical situation or remarks came hours after Venezuelan president. Okay, government has arrested 2,000 opponents. Okay, so yeah, they got a democracy, sure. Olympics. So yeah, that's what's going on in Venezuela. They had an election, and the guy who's in power, surprise, surprise, he's still in power, and everybody just is saying, it wasn't a fair election. And his response was to arrest all the opposition people. So that's not a democracy. That's not how elections are supposed to work. Olympic security means minorities and others flagged as potential terror threats can't move freely. What? Olympic security means minorities and others flagged as potential terror threats can't move free. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing there. That's just something going on with the Olympics. Probably transitory. All right, and these are the same story. Let's see. Authorities euthanize 16-foot crocodile. Okay, that's one of those. That's one of those articles that your local news. See this one right here. That's one of your articles that the local news will pick up to fill in and take up time so that you don't learn what's actually going on. That's what that is right there. That's what AP is they sell their content to newspapers and local news and stuff. Okay, so I don't know, there's not much going on, much else we got in here. All right, so let me see if I can find yeah. Oh, I know what it was. We were going to go back here and see if there was an article on there that I wanted to look at on the main page. Oh, that's what we just read. Okay. Okay, and there was a prisoner exchange, right? Spy versus spy. I don't know if they're spies or not, but that's what it smells like. It's just a big, but it's a spy swap. Let's see here. Let me try something else here. All right. Raiders, there it is. Okay. Mic check. Okay. Never know. Okay. Oh God, why do they do this? It's like they want to make all their visitors to the site go away. They just make it so difficult to use. Okay, same story. Bangladesh. We learned about that. Musk-backed PAC under investigation for potential violation of Michigan laws. Okay, that's politics. And we shouldn't be intimidating, even though it's Musk. We shouldn't be intimidating people who are trying to be politically active. I don't know. Okay. Debbie slams into Florida's coast. Okay, it's the weather report. Okay, some sports story. North Korea's Kim oversees delivery of new tactical ballistic missile launchers. Okay. U.S. military eyes Australia's Indian Ocean toehold to deter China. Okay. So I don't know what these are. These are kind of like, they're not, news reports. They're just trying to draw attention to some particular thing. They're Myanmar junta says senior officers held as rebels take over major base. Okay, that sounds like a real story. Let's see what that is. Now, AP didn't cover this one for some reason. At least on their headlines there. It just says senior officers held as rebels. Okay, so let's see what it says here. Myanmar. If you remember where Myanmar, remember when we did, a couple streams ago, we did, oh shoot. I'm sorry, I messed up here. There you go. A couple streams ago, or was it last stream? No, 2 streams ago, I played this geography game. So now we all know where Myanmar is, right? It's next to India there. Yeah, it's between Southeast Asia and India. Near Thailand, I guess, right? Borders Thailand and Bangladesh. And does it border in China too, maybe? Let's see. Myanmar's junta has lost communications with senior officers at a major military base near the Chinese border in a rare admission of battlefield failure after rebels announced they had taken control of the key regional army headquarters. Ah, okay. Well, that's interesting. Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army rebel group, which said on July 25th it had taken over the base. Okay, so that was almost a couple weeks ago, but kept fighting to gain full control. Posted photographs of its troops at the military stronghold. Okay. Troops have been unable to contact the undisclosed number of officers. Unable to contact us, so maybe they've taken him prisoner or something, or killed him, or... Interesting. Following weeks of intense fighting. So see, they're spinning this as they just don't have contact with them. And they said that the rebel group says that they've taken full control, which would mean that they'd either be prisoners or they'd be dead, right? That's to have full control. If you believe so they've got 2 sides here. One just says we don't know, we don't have contact. The other side says we got it, we got everybody. So let's see. Junta troops have been unable to contact an undisclosed number of officers at the besieged Northeastern Regional Command following weeks of intense fighting. Okay, it has been found that senior officials were arrested. He said, oh wait, this is he. Who is it? The spokesman, military spokesman. Were arrested, he said in an audio message posted on a Telegram messaging app, adding the junta was working to verify the situation. Wait, oh, junta troops. Okay, I'm reading. Okay, so yeah, they're saying that they've got them, or they're trying to figure it out, or whatever they're saying. Let's see what's going on here. This is the junta troops, okay? Wait, I'm really confused now. Okay, the junta, the ones who junta is meaning the ones who are in power right now. That's kind of weird, just because normally that's used that they're talking about the ones who are in power now, who were rebels before, right? They fought and they took over. I don't know why do countries do this? Why do they? This is stupid. You know, to run your country, who's the best military fighter? That's a stupid way to run things. You know, who can fight best? Who can shoot each other better? Then they get to run things. That's just a stupid way to do things. You know. It has been found that senior officials were okay. So we already went through all that. Okay. Ruling generals are under unprecedented pressure. Okay, so maybe they're closing in on them. The junta that's been running things in Myanmar has been criticized. They haven't been, they're authoritarian. It says was sparked here. Yeah, here's saying why, right? A resistance movement was sparked by a violent crackdown on demonstrations following the February 21st coup, as thousands of young protesters took up arms and combined forces with several established ethnic rebel groups to fight the military. So, all right. So, yeah, you just democracy's better. It's a lot better to just have people vote on stuff and do it that way. Let them pick who they want and just peacefully discuss who's better and all that kind of stuff. What's the better way to go, and have everybody vote on it. Do it this way. And this is what there's some people, right? I'm not going to name names, but there's a major candidate who wants to do that, who wants to run things that way. If he doesn't win the election, he wants to do that. He wants to use guns and violence. Maybe if the people get their shit together and make the win so lopsided that he doesn't, where it's clear that the people don't want him, then maybe he'll just go away, or be easier to put him in prison or something. I don't know. Rand says it does not want regional escalation, but must punish Israel. Yeah, eye for an eye. That's how they do things, I guess. No respite for the dead in Gaza. Lebanon receives medical aid. Vacationers leave amid fears of war. Yeah. Okay, so that's a UK story. Okay, Ukraine finally deploying U.S.-made F-16 fighter jets. God, how much? What was it? About a year ago they talked about giving them? Or when did they approve those? I don't know. You never know, right? The first casualty to war is the truth, right? So they've probably been using them for months, and now they're just saying they're got them or something. Who knows? Let's see. Resurgent far right conjures Austria-Hungary headache for UK on Ukraine. I don't even know what that even means. Learn how to write headlines. That doesn't even make any sense. California wildfire, now fourth largest state history. Yeah, California wildfires. What else is new? Missouri police charge man. Okay, that's an individual thing. That's just a... Okay, so I don't know if we covered all the stories or not. All right, there's nothing there. I don't know. We can go to another... go to a newspaper maybe. This is where I used to live in California. News.com. See what they got. Since they were talking about the tech stocks dumping, maybe these guys have some insight on that. Oops. Okay, that went away. Okay. Park fire puppies reunite. Okay, Jesus, you got to be kidding me. Really? What are you doing? This used to be a real paper, man. Okay, they got nothing. I'm done. This. All right, so I don't know. I don't think I covered everything, but let's see what they got down here on Wikipedia. Ongoing Ukraine timeline, Sudanese war. I'll learn about that. Not an hour. Timeline, Summer Olympics. Let's see what's going on here. Civil war between two rival factions of the military government of Sudan. You know, another reason why these things happen. I mean, it's not always the case, but a lot of times, oil companies and other companies that are into resource extraction from these less powerful companies or countries, they don't want democracies in there. Those industries don't want democracies because it's much easier to bribe a corrupt leader, autocrat in a little country in order to have them give away all their resources at real cheap prices to the oil companies or whoever than it is to have a democracy where the same industries would have to spend lots of money to try to convince millions of people to do what they want, So that's why they're always getting these. One of the reasons why, that drives this thing towards authoritarianism. It goes all the way back to colonial days, Anyway, so let's see what's going on here. A civil war between two rival factions of the military government of Sudan. Sudanese armed forces under blah blah blah, and the military rapid support forces under the Weed leader. I don't know what's going. I can't read these names. Fighting has been concentrated around the capital city of Khartoum, and the Darfur region. Okay, so they just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. So it's easier just to have people vote, Massacres, war began. Okay, the war began with attacks on the RSF. What was the RSF again? The Rapid Support Forces. Attacks by the RSF on government sites as airstrikes, artillery, and gunfire were reported across Sudan. Khartoum and Omdurman were divided between the two warring factions, with al-Burhan relocating his government to Port Sudan. Oh, so they're getting... Looks like they're... this is how it began. Let's see, the attempts by international powers to negotiate a ceasefire culminated in a treaty, which of course didn't do anything. Let's see what the current thing is. Starting in October, momentum began to swing towards the RSF. It sounded up here at the beginning. It sounded like it started swinging towards their very early. Okay, October, momentum began to swing toward the RSF as the paramilitary defeated army forces. Since February, the SAF, what was SAF? Oh, Sudanese, no wait, what the heck is the SAF? I don't know. SAF has made gains in that town, let's see, made gains in some other town, state, whatever. Further negotiations between the warring sides of all, okay, so it's just, we got more background if we want it. It's just humans being humans, killing each other, For what, When we're doing that that geography game. You know, we were looking, and you could just see how the Gaza Strip is a teeny tiny little piece of land, man. It's just a small, you know. The amount of money that they spent prosecuting these wars against these people is many, 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 many times more than what that land is worth. You know, it's just the most bizarre thing, you know. And it's, you know, I already said my theory on it, that it's the natural gas there, the natural gas field at Gaza that they were trying to tap into. They were just about to start pumping out of it, and then the war began. So, and that would cost a lot of money for people. There's not a lot of gas in there, but I mean, relative to some other gas fields. But if they put it on a market, it would reduce prices enough that people would lose a lot of money, a lot more money than what the Gaza Strip is worth. So I think that's the real reason for the fighting. Anyway, okay, so that's the news. And I'm kind of tired since I was up all night. Let's see, I was watching C-SPAN this morning, and he had a guy on about elections. You know, how to something innovative elections, or I forget what he was with, but he used, you know, his whole thing was to try to make elections more transparent and, you know, use latest techniques and all that to make them make the elections better. And I think I mentioned this on another stream, but you know, the way to do it is, one thing you can do anyway to make the elections more transparent, in terms of the casting of ballots and counting of ballots and all that, is to take a picture of every single ballot that's cast and put it online. And, you know, put a unique number on each ballot and give each voter a stub with that number on it, you know, a receipt or whatever, with that number on it. And then everybody in the world can look and count the ballots for themselves if they want, to see what the real count is. And anybody who voted can use their little unique number to find their ballot online to see that it was actually counted and is in there with the rest of the ballots. So, you know, I'm like that whenever I vote. You know, it's like I go on, I cast my ballot and put it in a little thing. It's like, well, how do I know that it got there? How do I know that it got counted? And you know, they say, well, we have these systems in place, and you know, everybody, you know, is honest who works there. Yeah. You know, it's like, how do you know? You know, but if they did this, if they took a photo, actual picture, an image of every single ballot, put it online, everybody would know. It'd be transparent. Everybody would know that the count was accurate. Everybody could verify that their vote was actually counted. And this was proposed 10 years ago. We had the technology to do this 10 years ago. So, you know, why isn't it done? Why haven't they done that? Yeah, I think I know why. So, anyway, kind of sucks. So, maybe after the revolution we'll get back to democracy. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the revolution is not like these other ones. Hopefully it's peaceful. So, all right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting tired. Make sure I've... Yep, I think I've got my mic still. It's delayed a little bit, yep. Yeah, it's delayed, but I got it, so... Okay, so that was it. I'm sure there's more news out there that I know about. I just haven't been, you know, following very closely. I don't think I have enough followers here to To raid anyway. Who is this person here? Oh, okay. Left flank blanks, or left flank vets has got his new logo, his new branding is coming out. He's rebranding his stream. So yeah, I don't have enough people watch to even do a raid anyway. So okay, so yeah, hit the follow button. I got to get more followers so we can get more people on the stream. Maybe get chat going. It can be a little bit more interactive. People can ask questions, and I can ask questions if maybe an expert shows up in the chat room that I can ask questions to. Make it more interactive. So hit the follow button if you're watching this on the bot or if you're watching live, so I can get my followers up. So I don't even have enough followers to get my affiliate even yet. So I gotta get more followers, get this thing moving more. What else I gotta do? Okay, so make sure you tune in on Wednesday. I'm going to be reviewing. I think I decided to do iRobot. So I don't know if you're familiar with the movie iRobot with Will Smith. So I'll do a review of that, a review and a breakdown of that on Wednesday. So I'll explain things. I don't think it needs much explanation. That one's pretty easy to follow. But maybe I can explain some things. But we'll do a review of that on Wednesday then. And then on Saturday again, I'll see if I can find another public domain movie to do. We're going to run out of those pretty soon. So anything else? I don't think there's anything else I need to announce. I guess that's it. Okay. So appreciate you watching, lurkers and VOD watchers. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Here we go. First thing we climb a tree, and maybe then we talk, or sit silently and listen to our thoughts, illusions of someday, cast in a golden light, no dress rehearsal, this is our life. That's where the hornet stung me, and I had a feverish dream with revenge and doubt. Tonight we smoke them out. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century. You are ahead by a century.